So I'm in a long here, basically got in along from this area here, basically formed this range, dipped under, tested back up into it, and then essentially popped through. I'm just going to target up into this volume, this high volume node area up here. So just basically this high volume area. Let's see if we can get a break of this high. It's all moving along pretty well. I think at this point I'll reduce my risk below this high volume node here. So the trade's basically break even now, and we'll see if we can get a nice break through this high. I'll just be looking for this high just to get broken here. So it's looking like it might be going to break now. It's getting pretty close to it. Just keeping an eye on the volume as we come up. So we are printing some high volume there. There we go, nice. So that broke through the high, taken out there from a long idea again. So again, nice dip under, nice and balanced back up into the range. So I've gone long again, and I'm still looking for probably up into this high volume node. And again, we've got this sort of bulk of volume area through here on the profile. So just looking to see if we can get through that, and then look to see if we can get that to hold, and then push up. Once we come up into this high, that's where I'll get my stop underneath this high volume node. At the moment, the stop will go behind the bar. So I'm going to reduce my risk under this high volume node. We're getting that breakthrough now. So that's nice. Don't want to go to break even just yet, because we essentially might want to test the top edge of this volume area, hold, and then break on from there, but it doesn't make sense now. It doesn't make sense now to have my stop where it is, because if price wants to come all the way back down here and break through this high volume area, the odds that it's now going to flush through these lows is pretty high. So reduce as much risk as I can. Okay, so I've got to break even now. Got that nice push, and I'll look to potentially scale up as we break into this high, just so I don't give back too much. Alright, that's a pretty nice move. I'm going to scale up here as we go. Alright, that's fine, I got taken out there. So that was a nice push. Basically got in on the retry of this range, and then a nice break up through the high. Long idea, just continue to look for longs while gold is doing this. So basically I had this little dip under and a little tiny little imbalance. So I got along there. It's not much of a trigger, so I've just got my stop below this demand area, because this demand area hasn't been tested. And I'll look to potentially add, if we come back down, form another trigger, some trap volume, and then look to push. I'll look to get long, another long on there. So I'm keeping this trade pretty open. So at this point, I'm still going to leave my stops where they are. I think I'll look to move them if we get, if we get up into sort of this area, the other side of this little volume area here. If we get up to the other side of that. Okay, so we're testing that pretty good now. So I'm going to get my risk below the lows of this bar. So that's going to get most of my risk off. And now I'll be looking for essentially this demand area to hold. See if we want to continue up through this low volume area here. Okay, we're looking like we might be going to break it. So once we break this area, I'll go to break even. Alright, so I'm going to get to break even here at this point with this trade. So it's a risk-free trade, and we'll just see what kind of break we get. That was a pretty nice move up. Yeah, there's probably some trapped volume happening up here. So we've got some volume. So I'm gonna potentially get one off here. I don't think I got out quick enough with that. Alright, so I'm just going to have to leave this as break even, see if we can get another push through. Alright, I'm going to get one of my stops there, just to make sure I lock something in on this trade. That's a nice push, I'll go behind that bar. Alright, so one out. I'm going to trail this other one up behind this little high volume node we've got there. And see what we do. I'll look to go behind this bar. That's all right. Alright, that's no problem. So I got stopped out on both of those, but nice little quick trade there. Here, try and get up into this 4400 area. Basically just looking at this high volume node through here, and then obviously the 4400. So we're basically dipping back down, it's just a continuation of the idea all morning, is just basically trying to get onto these longs. In terms of my stops, I'm going to go below this demand area because we might want to dip further down and then have a nice reaction. So I'll look to add to this trade if we do break under, come into this demand and then form another imbalance. I'll look to add to the trade. But yeah, just this one last final idea to try and get up into this 4,400. Once we do, we've got this massive supply. So at that point, I'm going to stay out and then see what sort of reaction we get at this supply, whether we do have a big sell-off or whether we do actually break up into this supply. If we break up into it, kind of range and hold, then I think there's a good chance we're going to get a breakthrough these longer term highs. So stop's going to be at break even now after that move, and hopefully we can get a push up into that 4,400. I'll potentially look to scale up as we go, yeah. So I'm going to scale these up as we go. I've still got one on. I might just try and let it flush through. There we go, that's a nice push. Alright, perfect. So not quite there. I mean, it's more or less to the area that I'm looking at. So I'm not looking at any more longs now. Had that really nice flush into this area. Now we're back up into this supply area, so I wouldn't be looking at longs now. I want to see what sort of reaction we get. Alright, so this is the final update on the Apex account. So I've essentially just passed it today. Came close a couple of days ago, but didn't quite pass it. The target is 2,000. This graph doesn't factor in commission, so it didn't quite pass. And in the last couple of days, I've basically took some nice trades and broke it up through 2,000. So I think I've got to trade one or two more days just to satisfy the trading days criteria. So I'll just open and close some small little trades. I'm basically 400 or 500 above target, so that'll be fine. So yeah, this account's passed. Got a funded Apex account, so we'll see how it goes. It's the static drawdown account, which I don't mind. With how I trade, it's actually not too bad to trade it, to be honest. You just got to be cautious to start with, build up a little bit of a buffer. Once you've got a buffer, you can lean into larger trades, and you basically, it's nice because at a certain point your drawdown dwarfs or outweighs what you've got left to try and make as a profit target because it's static and it doesn't move. So you actually build quite a nice buffer, and then it becomes easier to pass towards the end of the challenge. So yeah, funded account, we'll see how it goes trading it and getting a payout, though. I've been reading more about some of the rules with Apex. Seems to be quite a few rules like maximum adverse excursion and things like that, so I'll have to be careful with that. Pay attention to drawdowns and things of that nature. I'll just initially trade small and see how it goes. I'm not going to add any more at this stage because I just want to trade one account, see if I like it, and if I do and if I can get a payout, I'll scale up quite a bit with Apex, but I'm just really testing to see how it goes. But anyway, got it past, pretty consistent trading, and yeah, some nice moves in gold the last few days, which has helped, but we'll see how the funded account goes.